bit about the 3 Little Pigs. You remember, Jet? And I told you it was a different kind of a story I was going to tell you about? Yeah? Okay. When we read the story about the 3 Little Pigs, we know a few things about it, don't we? We know that one of the houses was made of brick. And brick's really strong, isn't it? Would you want your house to be made of brick? Yeah, because that holds up pretty good. And we know, okay, listen, we know that the other little pig's house was made of straw. Do we think straw was very strong? No. No, that could probably fall down easy, huh? And there was one more house. Guess what it was made of? Sticks. That might be a little bit stronger than the straw, but I think our best bet would be a brick house. Do you guys? Yeah? After we're done with the story, you all can draw on a piece of paper what kind of house you want to have. Okay, my little pigs, I'm going to tell you a story. It's the true story of the 3 Little Pigs. So it might be a little bit different than the story you know. See, there's the wolf on the cover. He's telling his story. Okay. Okay, listen. Everybody knows the story of the 3 Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. Okay, listen, I'm going to tell you my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. Say hi, Al. Hi, Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault that wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. Who eats cheeseburgers? Me. Cheeseburgers are yummy.
I hate pickles.
Okay. But, like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. This is what really happened. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible, terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. We need sugar to make a cake, don't we? I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house out of straw? Not me. So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called out, little pig, are you in? What did my pig say? Okay. But there was no answer. I was just about to go to a house without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on, so I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed. Achoo! A great big sneeze. And you know what happened? The whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. You'd eat a big cheeseburger, wouldn't you? If it was just lying there. Okay, listen to what I had to do next. I was feeling a little bit better, but I didn't have my cup of sugar yet. So I went to the next door neighbor's house. The neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much smarter. He had built his house of sticks. And we think sticks might be a little bit stronger, right? Yeah. I rang the doorbell on the stick house, but nobody answered. So I called, had just grabbed the doorbell when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Woof's honor. I promise that's what happened. Now you know, food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open, so I did the only thing that there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family because he had built his house of bricks. And we think bricks are probably strongest, right? I knocked on the brick house. No answer. And I called out, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here, Woof. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole stack full of sugar, and he wouldn't even give me one little cup for my dear old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my colds coming on again. So I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pin. His house didn't fall, but he was not going to share any sugar with me. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fella, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break that pig's house down. And the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a big scene. My cold was so bad that day. The rest of it, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the pigs I had had for dinner, and they figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the whole story with all that puff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big bad wolf. That's it, the real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup full of sugar. The end. Let me hear my pigs